two more interesting cases that came out of that was the Cramer Hill litigation and the Lanning Square litigation. The Cramer Hill one was the one that got the most attention, and it was the largest neighborhood, and it involved taking 1,100 homes by eminent domain and demolishing 300 units of public housing and 300 units of Section 8 housing. So we represented over 100 homeowners and lots of residents of both the public housing and the Section 8 housing. The plan for that neighborhood was to create a golf course, sort of a hotel convention center on the river, and to tie it in with a parallel project that involved Pennsauken and Petty's Island. Petty's Island is this island that's on the Delaware River, just off of Cramer Hill and Pennsauken shoreline. So there were parallel advocacy efforts. The environmentalists were trying to preserve Petty's Island from being developed into a hotel and a golf course, and the Cramer Hill residents were fighting to preserve their homes, and the groups kind of teamed up. The neighborhood was relentless in terms of pursuing then Governor Corzine, and anytime Governor Corzine showed up in Camden, there would be like, stop Cherokee from destroying our neighborhood. We save our homes, no eminent domain. Group was very, very active. In the litigation, several business owners whose land was also going to be taken joined us in the lawsuit. So we had consolidated cases with 3 businesses represented by different lawyers and us representing the residents. The same thing happened in Lanning Square. That was a smaller neighborhood closer to downtown, and that was where Cooper Hospital was expanding and where it was considered a hotter real estate market potentially because it was right close to downtown. The residents there were also very strongly opposed to the plan and also very vocal. Cramer Hill plan got defeated over and over again by a judge on pure technicalities. We never reached the merits of whether this was a blighted neighborhood. We never reached the merits of whether this plan was arbitrary, capricious, and unreasonable. We had disparate impact discrimination claims in there. Those were never reached. The judge kept ruling that the city hadn't gone through the proper procedures when it adopted the plan. It hadn't given proper notice of a hearing. It didn't swear in its witnesses before they testified. And in the end, the city dropped that entire effort. A lot of reasons for it. The main developer, Cherokee, turned out to really botch up the Meadowlands redevelopment that they were also involved in and became disfavored by the state. Real estate market changed. New administration came into City Hall. Mayor Dana Red just took over. She wanted a more conciliatory and friendly relationship with the community. So for a lot of reasons, after we went to court and won 3 times over these technical things, the city dropped that effort. Lanning Square, we ended up settling shortly afterwards. In Cramer Hill, the city passed a new redevelopment plan that designated most of the neighborhood and area in need of rehabilitation, which has some of the same benefits as a redevelopment plan, but doesn't allow use of eminent domain. It only targeted a very small portion of the neighborhood for redevelopment and only proposed demolishing 12 homes. In Lanning Square, we worked out a very unusual settlement where we developed a list of agreed-upon occupied homes, and those particular occupied homes, block by block, were removed from the redevelopment area. So the city could still use eminent domain to acquire vacant abandoned properties and vacant land, but it couldn't use eminent domain to acquire the homes that were occupied at the time. So those were, I think, great resolutions, but they involved very heated, kind of scorched earth, contentious litigation for several years before we got there.